अपोनेंट क्लास से उस डेटा पॉइंट के थ्रू हम एक लाइन पास करेंगे, ठीक, विच इज पैरेलल टू दिस लाइन 1. फाइन.
Yes, sir.
Similar fashion you have to do this for circle as well. One, if you are checking this, if you are going with this circle, then you have to consider this, and this will become your opponent class. And when you are going with this class, you have to consider this as your considered and this as your opponent class. Simple, the support vector machines, just to have create these two parallel lines only. Now, what are actually support vectors are? The line by which we are passing the data point by which we are passing this line, the closest point, that is called as your support vector. So this circle is called as your one support vector, and this is called as your support vector for another class. Fine. Now, whatever the distance we got 1 to this as d minus and 1 to 3 as d plus. Now we have to just find out the distance between them, and whatever the margin we got, if we got more margin, it will show a good accuracy. If it is some less margin, it will show less accuracy. Fine. So simple, you have to create this. Another aspect, like I'll just one more point. This is also a graph, and these are few circles. Fine. And these are few squares also. This is, now this is also as a line, we can call it as a like hyperplane, and the closest point of circle is this, so we have to pass this line, and for square simply we have to pass this line. Now this will become your 1, 2 and 3. We can also use this, but here we can simply see that the margin between these 2 points will be less as compared to these points. Fine, because these are very few examples, that's why you may not have that capacity to know that what is going on there. But when you have large number of data sets, at that time you have to use this type of hyperplanes, that is the decision boundaries. Fine. So this is called as a a linear support vector machine, that is called as simply creating a line. Here you can see LSVM, linear support vector machine. We have to just simply create a line. Okay, now what is non-linear support vector machine? So you can see here, this is a small 1D line where you got on a line, you got some circles and some squares. Now it is very difficult to differentiate these 2 points. Fine. In the similar fashion, like this is your 2D graph, and now like all the circles are in some particular like circle manner, and squares are present in that circular way. Now when if you are going to have this linear function, now linear, simply when you were create a simple hyperlane, it is not going to work out, because few examples are also present in this. You can't classify both the things. Fine. In this classification you may have some like squares and circle. In the similar way you can have these things in this classification as well. So for that, what they actually use, we have to just convert, any low dimensionality to high dimensionality, and then just create a line. Simply what we have to do. Okay, fine. So now I'll go with here. Okay, so this is the actual example. Like it's difficult to evaluate this separation. Fine. So how to separate these 2 things and all? So for that, first thing is something like linear SVM. Because with some mathematical things and all, we can have that thing. Then second, this is called as the non-linear SVMs. Like you can see here, we have a one-dimensional line where we have some points there in like it is showing in. Okay, fine, just a minute. Okay, some points are showing in orange and some points are showing in blue. You can't differentiate both these things. You can see that linearly separable is not possible here. So for that, what we have did, we just converted this 1D into 2D formation. Fine. Now you can see here. Now you can differentiate these things. Fine. They like whatever the things you are not going to differentiate in 1D, you can differentiate in 2D. Similar way, like you have this 1D dimensional space where you have some values in that blue points and some values are in orange points. So simply just convert it into a three-dimensional. Future space can always be mapped to some hyper-dimensional future space where the training is separable. Simply, whatever the dimensional space you have in the form of non-linear, just convert it into an high dimensionality. If you have 1D, convert to 2D. If you have 2D, simply convert to 3D. Now you can have this separable with just a simple line. Fine. Like if you are going to have a small line here, they can be separated. Fine. So how what is this thing actually converts 1D to 2D or a low dimensionality to high dimensionality? It is actually called as the kernels. Fine. The kernel is a trick which actually converts any low dimensional space to high dimensional. Thus a kernel function implicitly maps the data to a high dimensional space. It has some different mathematical functionalities and all, but that's the main usage of kernel functionality. ठीक, सिंपल. सपोर्ट वेक्टर मशीन्स क्या होता है? किसी भी दो क्लासिफाई करना, पर्टिकुलर क्लासेस में क्लासिफाई करना. अब क्लासिफाई हमने ऑलरेडी किया था, जैसे हम लॉजिस्टिक रेग्रेशन भी यूज करते हैं तो उसमें भी क्लासिफाई होता था. बट व्हाट इज द मेन रीजन सपोर्ट वेक्टर्स? व्हाट वी आर डूइंग दैट जो डेटा पॉइंट जो हम कंसिडर क्लास करने वाले हैं उस पे जो भी सबसे क्लोज पॉइंट होगा अपोनेंट से, उसके थ्रू हम एक लाइन पास करेंगे, जो फर्स्ट लाइन जो कि हाइपर प्लेन के पैरेलल होगा. सिमिलर वे यहां से भी करेंगे. फिर हम दोनों के बीच का मार्जिन फाइंड करेंगे. जितना ज्यादा मार्जिन होगा उतनी अच्छी एक्यूरेसी आएगी. अब लीनियर ही हुआ, ये हमने सिंगल लाइन यूज किया है. सिंपल वे तो इस एग्जांपल में भी सिंपल लाइन ही यूज किया है. तो व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस? इस अगर ऐसा लाइन यूज करोगे, स्ट्रेट लाइन या हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन यूज करोगे, तो क्या होगा कि आपकी जो मार्जिन होगी ना वो कम होगी. एंड मार्जिन कम होगी तो कुछ चांसेस हो सकते हैं कि इतनी एक्यूरेसी ना आए जितनी कि इस पर्टिकुलर वैल्यूज में आती हो. ठीक. जब भी आप कोई भी क्लासिफिकेशन एक पर्टिकुलर लाइन से कर देते हो तो उसे हम कहते हैं लीनियर सेपरेबल. ठीक, लीनियर एक लाइन से आप कर रहे हो एंड जो डेटा पॉइंट्स के थ्रू आप ये लाइन पास करते हो उसे हम कहते हैं सिंपल सपोर्ट वेक्टर्स. ठीक, कितने भी क्लास हो सकते हैं. अब ये तो हो गया एलएसवीएम के लिए. अब नॉन लीनियर हुआ तो क्या करना है? सिंपल, नॉन लीनियर का डेटा फॉर्मेशन ऐसा भी हो सकता है. अब 1D में ऐसा हो तो इसको आप अलग नहीं कर सकते सिर्फ पर्टिकुलर लाइन से. तो हमें उसके लिए क्या करना होता है? पर्टिकुलर जो भी डायमेंशनल में हमारे पास डेटा अवेलेबल हो या ग्राफ अवेलेबल हो, उसको हमें नेक्स्ट पर्टिकुलर डायमेंशनलिटी में, हाई डायमेंशनलिटी में कन्वर्ट करना है. अगर 1D में हो तो 2D में, 2D में हो तो 3D में. जैसे ही कन्वर्ट किससे होता है? कन्वर्ट होता है कर्नल कर्नल फंक्शन से. ठीक. अब जैसे ही आप कन्वर्ट कर देते हो, कन्वर्ट करने के बाद आप सिंपल लाइन यूज करते हुए भी आप दोनों का डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हो. फाइन. पता चल गया बेसिक आइडिया अब रिगार्डिंग सपोर्ट वेक्टर? पता चल गया? एनी क्वेरीज?
Yes, sir.
व्हाट इज एक्चुअल सपोर्ट वेक्टर?
No doubt, sir.
रिमेनिंग?
No doubt, sir.
No doubt, sir.
अच्छा. Okay, fine. So these are basically what we can say it as support vectors and all. Then we are moving to have this random forest. ठीक. Just a minute. इसको मैं सेव कर देता. Okay, fine. So now we are going to see random forest. So what is this random forest? Basically, random forest is a collection of different decision trees. Fine. It basically works on assemble learning. What is this assemble learning means? Okay, simple. I'll just explain a small example here. Like if you have passed 12th standard and now if you want to know whether you have to join BTech or not, so what you are going to do now? Whether you are going to take anyone's perspective, or you are going to take different perspectives. Like if you have past, you are going to ask your father, your mother, or your friends too. Fine. It's not going to be happen like only if you are going with one decision. You are going to take different several decisions. Fine. Just write here. You have a particular training data. Fine. And then you have some what we can say as some models here, that is algorithm 1. Okay, fine. M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, and M6. Okay, so what you are going to do now, simply you are going to train this data to different models. Okay, and what are these models are? All the models can work differently. Like if someone like M1 is going to work on linear regression, M2 is work on KNN, M3 will naive Bayes, M4 will be like on support vector machines and all. So fine, you have one particular data. Okay, you have one particular data, and on that basis you are training on different algorithms, that is M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6 till Mnth. And now what you are going to do, just whatever the outputs you are going to get, you are going to convert that output. That means you are going to combine that output and name it as M star. Now what are these M1, M2, M3, M4, M6? These are called, just a minute. Okay, these are called as the algorithms. Okay, I'll just show you this. Okay, training data, we have seen this training data moves to the base learners, that is also called as the classifiers here. See, I just shown this is the training data, M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6. These are the base learners that are also called as the classifiers, also called as the weak learners. And now we have to just combine all the output to make a resultant classifier. Fine, maybe like someone, if you train a data, you get in M1 you get at a error rate of 5, in M2 3, 4, in 10 5, 1, 6, and 0, something. When now whatever you will combine these outputs, now you are getting definitely an less accuracy. That is called as an assembler learning. Taking your training data and passing this training data to different algorithms, and then combining all the algorithms result to one particular classifier. Fine, that classifier is called as your M star. Anything you can name it as. And all these all these base learners are also called as the classifiers. They may be of any type. One will be of linear regression, one will be of logistic, any result you can take it. That's the basic idea. Just train the data on different base learners that are called as different classifiers, and then just combine all its output to make one strong resultant classifier, just to make great accuracy. That's what forest actually works on. As I already said, random forest is a kind of assembler learning. It just combine all the decision trees. Similar way, you have to pass the training data to all the algorithms, and then just convert all its output to one particular algorithm. That's the basic functionality of assembler learning. And now assembler learning has something two types. That is, one is called as the bagging, and another thing is called as boosting. Now what is this bagging is called as? Bagging is something like you have some okay, I'll just go there. Okay, fine. And now it's, yeah, something like you have some data set here. Okay, and now you have taken few different subsets. What you have done, you have some data set, and on that basis you have converted into D1, D2, and three different subsets. Now you are going to apply this D1 data set on any one classifier, similar C2 for another classifier, and similar C3 for this D3 classifier. These can be are up to Dn. Similar fashion, they can also be of different classifications. Now what you are going to do, just now combine this C1, C2, C3 and make it as a strong classifier. Simple. What you have done, simply you have taken a data set, then you have taken different subsets, that is D1, D2, D3. You can take till Dn, whatever this requirement, and on that particular sub data, on that particular subset, that is D1, D2 and D3, you have applied a small classifier, that is of C1, then C2 and C3. Now whatever these results you will get from C1, C2 and C3, then just convert it into a proper hard resultant classifier. You can also call this C1, C2, C3 as your base learners, D1, D2, D3 as your sub data sets, and C star, that is your final resultant classifier. Fine, you can see here. Database, take random data points and make new data sets. Fine, that's what we did. We have data set, we have created D1, D2, D3 by generating some random values, also called as these bootstrap samples, and then passed to different classifiers. Similar fashion, we got D1 to C1, D2 to C2, D3 to C3, and then just combine these values and generating a new strong classifier, that is C star. That's the basic idea of bagging. Okay, then comes is your boosting. Now what's this boosting is? Boosting is something a sequential method, like okay, fine. In this, it is not like D1 is not going to depend upon C2, D2 is not going upon to C3, and C2 is not going upon dependent on D3. Each and every data sub data set and your classifier are different from another data sets and subsets. Okay, so not something like C1's value is required for C2, C2's value is required for C3, and it just moves on. But what actually this boosting, it is a sequential method. That means the values are required for another models too. So what we are going to see, again we have a data set. In this we have a small concept of weights. For now, just consider as weights is something like the probabilities. For each and every value, like you have 9 instances in this particular data set. Fine, this is the data set you got, and in this data set you got 9 instances, and each one has its different weights. That is, one has W1, 2, W2, 3, and all these weights are equal. Fine, like if W1 has an weight of 3, then W2 has also weight of 3. Similar fashion, again, now what you have to do, okay, just a minute, मैं फटाफट यहाँ पे लिख देता हूँ. You have this D1 here and you have this D2 here. Fine, now you have this D here, and now you have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. I think you have this 9 instances here. Now simply you have again generated two different subsets, that is D1 and D2. What you have to take, just take any random values. Fine, like if I am taking here as 1, then 3, then 5 and 7. Fine, with their weights we have to take. Now what we have to do, just simply you have taken the D1 values, D1 any some random spaces and all. Now what you have to do, now on these particular values you have to generate a model. Fine, you have to generate a model that is based on this D1. Okay, now what will this model will do? Model 1 will generate whether this one is an instance of that particular class, 3 is instance of which class, 5 is instance of which class, and 7 is instance of which class. Fine, something just suppose like you have this 9 instances, and you have among these 9 instances 5 instances are of class 0 and 4 instances of 0. Just a minute, like 1 to 5 are of 0 and 6 to 7 are of 1. I'm just taking a random example. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9 are of class 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are of class 0. Now you have taken 1, 3, 5, 7 here as an examples. Now after training this M1 model, what it will generate? There are some chances that it will generate all these instances correctly. Like 1 is an instance of 0, 3 is an instance of 0, 5 is an instance of 0, 7 is an instance of 1. Fine. It may be possible that it will generate everything in a proper way. But what if it is not going to generate? Like if it is showing 3 as if it is 3 it is showing as of first class, and what if it is 7 it is showing as of 0 class. Fine. So this is something like wrong here. Again, I have simply written as that. Now these are some values. Now what if we have just created a sample data set, created model 1 based on that particular data set, and you have passed out some instances where you are getting as 3 as wrong and 6 as wrong. Fine. So now what is going to happen? Now to make these values correct, we have to again pass these to the next upcoming module, that is the next data set. Fine. Simply now, and what we have to do now in this case, now again, like in this case, you have some cases like 3 and 7 are wrong. 3 and 7 are wrong here. So what we have to do now, and like another also instances like 6 and 8 are also instances of D2. We have just randomly taken the values. 3, 7 is showing the wrong output. Now what we have to do, just simply increase the weights of that particular value. As in the first starting I said, like suppose the weight of all the instances are 3. Now what you have to do, just create the weight 3 as 5, and then 7 create it as 5, and keep 6 as 3 itself and 8 as 3 itself. Now what it is going to do, as the weights are increased, the model is going to work first on that particular weights. After that, it will move on to the values that are lesser than that. Again, this may be a chance or probability that again 3 is going to be an instance of 1, and like 5 may we get 5 as in the 0. But what do you have to do now? Simply we have to increase the data sets in that formation only. D2, again this 3 is going to move on in D3. Even if it is not getting there, just complete it with the D4 up till we have to go up till we got all the instances as right. And again, if something like we are getting as at M8, okay, we are getting at M8 perfectly, just again match out all the values and then combine all M1, M2, M3 and M8 and just create M star. That is the new model, that is your strong class. के अंदर आपके पास कुछ पर्टिकुलर वैल्यूज है. क्या वैल्यूज है? 1 से 9 के वैल्यूज है एंड सबकी कुछ पर्टिकुलर वेट्स है. सबकी पर्टिकुलर वेट का मतलब है सबकी कुछ पर्टिकुलर प्रोबेबिलिटी है. अब सबकी प्रोबेबिलिटी हमने स्टार्टिंग में इक्वल रखी है. ठीक है. हमने फिर क्या किया, एक D1 सबसेट बनाया, उस डेटा सेट का सबसेट बनाया जिसमें हमने 1 3 5 6 नाम के 4 अलग इंस्टेंस लिया रैंडमली. रैंडम फॉरेस्ट है तो यहाँ पर हर चीज रैंडमली ही जनरेट होती है. 1 3 5 6 रैंडमली जनरेट किया एंड फिर हमने मॉडल 1 क्रिएट किया. अब जब मॉडल 1 क्रिएट किया तो मॉडल 1 क्रिएट करने के बाद जब आउटपुट आया तो उसमें क्या आया कि 1 करेक्ट दिखा रहा था, 5 करेक्ट दिखा रहा था, लेकिन 3 का जो इंस्टांस था वो और 6 का इंस्टांस जो था वो गलत दिखा रहा था. अब हमें इस इंस्टांस को सही कैसे करना है, हम लोग को जो भी इंस्टेंसेस पर्टिकुलर डेटा सेट में सबसेट में रॉन्ग आए हैं उनको हमें नेक्स्ट पर्टिकुलर डेटा सेट में सबसेट के डेटा सेट में ट्रांसफर करना है. ठीक, हमने D2 बनाया, फिर D2 करके एक नया सबसेट बनाया जिसको हमने M2 भी फिर मॉडल बनाना था. हमने ऑलरेडी 3 and 6 ले लिया एंड उसके अलावा कुछ और भी इंस्टेंसेस ले लिए जो रैंडम थे. अब करना क्या है, अगर यहाँ पर भी अगर वही वेट्स होती तो वहां पर भी वो चीज अगेन वही एरर शो करेगा. बट व्हाट इफ वी जस्ट इंक्रीज इट्स वेट. अगर मैं यहाँ की हमने वेट कंसिडर की थी W इक्वल टू 3, वेट की वैल्यू रखी थी 3. अब अगर मैं वेट बढ़ा देता हूं, जिस सारे वैल्यूज जिसकी वैल्यूज मुझे रॉन्ग आ रही है उन सबकी वैल्यूज की मैं वेट बढ़ा देता हूं. ठीक, तो जब नया मॉडल बनाएंगे तो वो मॉडल सबसे पहले उन पर्टिकुलर वेट्स पर काम करेगा जिनकी वैल्यू हाई है. ठीक, अब जैसे 3 था एंड 6 था, अब ये तो आउटपुट डायरेक्ट लिखा है मैंने यहाँ पर कि 3 पर हमने वेट लगाया 5, तो हमारा मॉडल इसने सही शो कर दिया, लेकिन 6 अभी भी रॉन्ग शो कर रहा है। अब ये हमें कब तक करना है? जब तक सारे के सारे इंस्टेंसेस राइट नहीं शो कर देते तब तक हमें ये प्रोसीजर चलाती रहनी, इसीलिए कहते हैं ये सीक्वेंशियल मेथड। क्योंकि यहाँ का D1, द D1 इज गोइंग टू बी डिपेंडेंट अपॉन D2, सिमिलर फैशन इट इज गोइंग टू डिपेंड इन n number of subsets. If you are going for D10, you have to move on till D10, and D2 is will depend upon D3, D3 will depend upon D4. That's not the case in bagging. Fine, because this D1 to C1 is just a different category, D2 to C2 is a different category, but here D1 to M1, D2 to M2 has some relation between them, and that's the relation that is called as your weights. On the basis of weights, it actually correlated with each other. सिंपल यहां पर लिखा है कि D1 जो चीजें मिसक्लासिफाई कर देगा वो सारे इंस्टेंसेस को वो D2 में मूव करेगा एंड वहां पर फिर ट्रेन को मॉडल करेगा। ठीक, इतना हुआ। अब ये कब तक चलेगा? जब तक चलता रहेगा, जब तक सारे इंस्टेंस मिल नहीं जाते तब तक चलेगा। एंड वंस इफ वी गेट all the instances correct, simply what we have to do, just again the same procedure here, combine all the classifications and then create a strong classifier to generate less error rate. Similar fashion, again just combine all the classifiers here also and then generate a M star. ठीक, रैंडम फॉरेस्ट, रैंडम असेंबलर लर्निंग था, रैंडम फॉरेस्ट असेंबल लर्निंग पर काम करता है। असेंबल लर्निंग का बेसिक कंसेप्ट होता है कि किसी भी पर्टिकुलर डेटा को डिफरेंट डिफरेंट एल्गोरिथम्स पे काम करवाना एंड उन सब के आउटकम्स को कंबाइन करना ताकि एक बेटर रिजल्ट आ सके। अब उसके टू टाइप्स होते हैं, वन इज बैगिंग एंड बूस्टिंग। वन इज टोटली डिपेंड अपॉन categorical wise and another is depend upon sequential. That's the only two things. ठीक, इतना समझ आ गया? रैंडम फॉरेस्ट का बेसिक आइडिया आ गया आपको?
Yes, sir.
पक्का?
हाँ, sir.
At least write down in the chat box please. Fast fast fast, जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी। Yes sir, मतलब you have doubts नंदिनी मैम? बोलो प्लीज, किसी को डाउट है? सिर्फ तुहिन सर का डाउट नहीं है, बाकी किसी को डाउट नहीं है? नो सर, नो डाउट्स। रिमेनिंग ऑल?
No doubt, sir. No.
Okay, fine. Aniket sir? You're not there. Kshitij sir?
No doubt, sir.
No, sir, no doubt.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Then we are going to move on to the next concept. These are some basic terminologies so that we'll cover the two basic algorithms. Fine. So this is something a matrix here. These are we have taken total 30 values. This is called as the confusion matrix. Fine. Maybe you have seen these words actually. Now we are going to see what is this actually tells us about. Confusion matrix. These are some predicted values, that is yes and no. These are the actual values, that is yes or no. Fine. It's a small comparison. We can say like if a person is having a heart disease. Fine. So we have taken 30 data points, and among the 30 data points, we are going to predict now how many are going to be right and how many are going to be wrong. Fine. Now what is this predicted and actual yes? Fine. This is 13 TP. That means what? We have actual 13 cases. We have total 18 cases. Sorry, we have total 18 actual cases, and among them 13 are yes and 5 are no. And when we have predicted, we got 13 yes and 5 no in the similar fashion for no as well, and this predicted no as well. Now what is this TP? Now this is called as true. I'll just write it, classified as true and are true. Okay, fine, simple. What is this TP? That is they are actually true in nature and they are also classified as true. Fine. So 13 cases are such cases that are predicted correctly, and they are actually correct as well. Similarly, what is this true negative? Classified as false and are false. That means this is called as the false negative. That is, sorry, TN ka here. Okay, that is predicted values are no. We have predicted 10 points that has no heart disease, and actual values are also 10. So these are the correct values. Now, what is this FN and FP? These are the wrong values. That means actually the person has a heart disease, but it is showing no. Fine, you can see here. Actually, it is showing yes, yes, the person has 5 persons have heart disease, but this predicted values is showing no here. That means what FN is classified as false but are true. They are actually right. Yes, the person is having heart disease, but they are classified as false. Similar fashion, some are also the cases like actually they don't have any heart disease, but they are predicting as yes, they have heart disease. That means they are false, but they are showing as classified. So TP is called as true positives, TN true negatives, FP false positives, and false negatives. So this is an actual matrix which shows how the predicted values and actual values are correlated to. Fine. Now these are some formulas to get these values. Accuracy, you can get this accuracy by here. Just calculate TP plus TN, that is 13, and TN 23 divided by 30 cases, that is around 80% you will get an accuracy. Then 1 minus accuracy is going to show your error rate. This is the precision, that is the predicted yes values. Precision, that means total true positives upon total positives plus predicted yes values. We have to calculate, we will get the precision value. In the similar fashion, we will get as the recall value. So these are the formulas. So the confusion matrix just to relate the things between actual values and the predicted values. Fine. So this is the basic concept now. Okay, fine. Do you understand these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So till now, I'll just quickly complete this. So we have covered these points. Fine. First of all, we have covered regex, numpy, and pandas. Then we have seen data pre-processing that have some future scaling, then dependent variables, independent variables, how to convert them, what are the data files and all. Then we have seen the supervised machine learning. We have seen the types of machine learning, that is supervised, then unsupervised and reinforcement. We have completed the supervised machine learning. We got regression and classification times. In regression, we got linear, logistic, and polynomial. In classification types, we got decision tree. Then decision tree, we have cleared it seen through an example also. Random forest, a basic idea that it works on assemble learning, simply training the data on different algorithms and then just combine all those things, a combination of different decision trees. Then naive Bayes, and then support vector machines also. Then the practical implementation of all algorithms we did except SVM. Random forest is not an necessary right now. Support vector machine, I'll tell you this thing on Monday. And these are some key terminologies we have think about that. What is data set? What is dependent and independent? What is training and testing set? What is underfitting and overfitting? Confusion matrix, accuracy, precision, and recall. Fine. Okay, so one point is left, that is underfitting and overfitting. I'll just quickly try to explain these things in just 5 minutes I'll require. And then we just cover those things. Fine. Okay, so these are this is a graph and this is the graph. Fine. These are two graphs. Okay, fine. These are the true graphs. First graph, it actually shows the condition of overfitting. This is showing the overfitting condition and this is showing the underfitting condition. Overfitting means that almost each and every data point are passing through that particular line. Fine, each and every point, or we can say almost close to 100% values are passing through this particular line. And what is underfitting? Only few points are passing through the particular line. Fine, that is called an underfitting condition. If I'll just try to give you an example, like if you have a case and you have to find out on the basic of the particular point that what you have to do now. So I'll go with an example of okay, fine. So you have a now case that you have to find a like you have to find the ball now. Okay, just a minute. You have to find out the ball. So now on which particular futures you are going to find out the ball? Okay, if I am going to give only one future, that is if it is going to be a like a circle or sphere in shape, it is called as circle. ठीक? What I have done, I have just taken a small instance that is called as the ball, and now the points that have passed here, that is the circle and or sphere. If it is a circle or sphere, it is going to predict me as it is a ball. Now what if I am going to give here as instance of like an just a minute. If I have any fruit here, find any fruit, like if it's something like an orange or क्या गोल कौन सा होता है यार, मेरे को तो अभी नाम भी नहीं याद है. Same example of a goal fruit. Anyone?
गुआवा.
गोवा गोल होता है?
Orange.
हाँ, yes, yes, orange, yes.
Grapes.
हाँ, grapes भी बोलो तो okay, fine, बस okay, fine. So we have two these examples. Now what if, अब ये क्या करेगा ना? Orange is also a shape of spherical sphere or circle in shape, and grapes are also in a circle and sphere shape. Now, if you are going to predict this new instance, it will generate an output of an as an ball. जबकि नहीं होना चाहिए था. हमारा क्या काम था, हमें टेस्ट करना था. हमने क्या किया कि एक बॉल लिया, हमें ये प्रूफ करना है कि जो भी हम न्यू इंस्टेंस दे रहे हैं वो हमें बॉल शो करना चाहिए. अब बॉल शो करने के लिए हम लोग ने क्या फीचर्स डाली, क्या क्या एट्रीब्यूट्स डाल दी, सर्कल और स्फीयर. अगर कोई भी जो हमारे पास ऑब्जेक्ट आती है, इफ दैट ऑब्जेक्ट इज इन अ शेप ऑफ सर्कल और स्फीयर, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ बॉल. नाउ व्हाट इफ इट इज शोइंग अ ऑरेंज? It is also in a circle and spherical shape, but it is not an ball. So that is a condition of underfitting. Fine. And underfitting actually works when you have less features. Fine. सिंपल है. हमें बॉल फाइंड करना था. अब बॉल तो फाइंड करना है, लेकिन कैसे करना? अगर सर्कल और स्पीयर होगा तो वो बॉल होगा. बस ये हमने कंडीशन डाली हुई है. Now what if it is something fruit or any other except ball? It is a spherical shape. Now what it is going to generate? As our model is built only on the future and the attribute of circle and sphere, it is going to generate it as a ball only. So that's the case of an underfitting. Fine. So now what's the case of overfitting? When you have more than required features. ठीक है, आपने सर्कल लगा दिया, then it's something like whether it should be, if it like it should not be not be eatable, then it should be playable. ठीक. And you have some also given any diameter to. Now what it is going to do, you have given so many instances, so many features. Now you have given it should be circle and sphere. Fine. You have given some diameter, you have given some eatable, not be eatable, like links, whatever. Like if it is orange, it is an eatable, so it should not be considered. If it is a ball, it should be you have you have given more than required instances. Now what if something like you have given here the diameter as 5 centimeter. Fine. And now you have an instance where you are getting as something like this circle that has a diameter of 10. Is this going to be in that format? Maybe it's something like it will show you not an exact accuracy, but this is an actual case of overfitting. Fine. Now you have to given more than required instances, required futures, required attributes that are not required that much. Okay, so as also said, if you have given as a diameter of 5 centimeter, and if a new instance is coming and it is showing as diameter of 10, so what it's used now? Fine. So that's the basic difference between underfitting and overfitting. Overfitting when you have given more than required instance and futures. Underfitting when you have given below your required instances. That's the basic talk between underfitting and overfitting. Apart from that, yes, one more thing I have left here to write is the decision boundary, that is basically used to classify two different classes. Fine. इतने पॉइंट्स हमने अब तक कवर कर लिए हैं, एंड ऑन मंडे क्या होगा, सिंपल क्या होगा कि मंडे को जितने भी पॉइंट्स हुए हैं सारे पॉइंट्स का एक छोटा सा बेसिक रिवीजन टाइप होगा. सारे टॉपिक्स उस दिन फिर से एक बार कवर कर दिए जाएंगे 1 आवर के सेशन में. ऑल दीज पॉइंट्स वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ वन लाइन differentiations and all. Fun, each and every point we are going to look again on Monday, and so on Monday we will complete this supervised supervised learning, that is regression and classification. And from on Tuesday we are going to work on unsupervised learning, that is clustering and all those things. One more thing, already said that SVM practical implementation is left, that we'll see on Monday. Practical implementation of SVM and small revision regarding all those points we are going to cover on Monday. Theek? Okay, fine. So if you have any queries regarding today's session, see, this is the random forest. Then we have covered support vector machines also. Just have to see that anyone is left, anyone out process the date, grid search. Then this is the knowledge check. Okay, fine. Okay, so fine. These are the thing. Decision tree we covered. Random forest we got a basic idea. Enough idea regarding random forest, that what it actually works on. Naive Bayes classifier, support vector machines. Fine. So we have covered all these 4 points in the similar way. We got for linear logistic as well as those things also. We have covered these things. So yeah. So we have covered enough regarding supervised learning. But on Monday we'll have a fast revision session, so that we'll be able to cover remaining things और as well अगर कुछ रह जाए तो ठीक. उसके बाद फिर हम ट्यूसडे से स्टार्ट करेंगे नया अनसुपरवाइज्ड लर्निंग. ठीक. Anyone has any queries?
Sir, can you please explain us about bias variance trade-off?
Sorry,
Bias variance trade-off.
मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा. चैट बॉक्स में लिखे, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही मुझे. फायर लिखा
सर,
आपने?
मैंने चैट बॉक्स पे लिख दिया सर. हाँ सर,
मैं देख रहा हूँ. अच्छा, बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ. अच्छा ठीक है, तो ये भी हम उस दिन देख लेंगे. बस
ओके सर.
दोनों के बीच में डिफरेंस होता है वैसे. बेसिकली बायस जो होता है वो एजम्पशंस पे काम करता है, एंड जो वेरिएंस जो होता है वो एस्टिमेशन पे काम करता है, जो पर्टिकुलर टारगेट फंक्शन पे होता है. एंड जो फिर उसका जो ट्रेड ऑफ होता है उसका मतलब होता है जस्ट समथिंग लाइक एरर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड बिटवीन अ बायस एंड वेरिएंस. ठीक. जो बायस एंड वेरिएंस के बीच का जो भी एरर होता है ना, उसे कहते हैं हम लोग बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ. ठीक. तो वो भी हम देख लेंगे. बस बायस वेरिएंस ट्रेड ऑफ.
ओके सर. ओके सर.
बट यार बेसिक यही होता है. बायस वेरिएंस का मतलब कि सिंपल एरर रेट बिटवीन अ बायस एंड वेरिएंस. Any queries now?
No, sir. No query, sir.
Sir, can you provide the notes of random forest?
Yeah, I'll just upload it here. Hello. Who? I'll call you back. I'll call you back. I'll call you back. ओके फाइन. हाँ यस सर, आप सर कुछ बोल रहे थे. कौन बोल रहा था? अनिकेत सर. हाँ, व्हाट यू आर सेइंग?
Sir, I was saying that can you provide the notes of random forest after the class?
So that's something regarding word file, that is assembler
Yes.
tagging वो वाला. Okay, okay, I'll just I'll upload that. I'll upload that word file.
Yeah, sure.
हाँ. Any more queries? It's just a basic idea regarding random forest and all. See, any देखिए, मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिथम्स बिल्ड करने होते हैं ना, तो उसका बेसिक सबका स्टेप्स वही होता है. मॉडल बनाना, उसको डेटा प्री प्रोसेस करना, ट्रेन करना, एंड फिर उस पर स्प्लिट करके टेस्टिंग करना, यही होता है. अगर लीनियर यूज करोगे तो ट्रेनिंग के टाइम पे लीनियर लिखना है, लॉजिस्टिक तो लॉजिस्टिक, डिसीजन तो डिसीजन. ऑलमोस्ट मोस्ट ऑफ द कंडीशंस में यही चीज आएगी. ठीक, अब तक तो ये देखा होगा. आप आज बैठिएगा, देखना, अगर आपको टाइम हो आज तो देखना. लीनियर रिग्रेशन पे हमने मॉडल का नाम लीनियर रिग्रेशन रखा होगा, डिसीजन ट्री पे डिसीजन ट्री ही रखा होगा, बाकी सब मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स वही रहे होंगे. ठीक, तो रैंडम फॉरेस्ट भी वैसा ही होता है, बट उसका प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हम शायद नहीं देखेंगे, क्योंकि इतना मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो काम आएगा आपको. तो we're not going to see that thing. Apart from that, we'll have that SVM now. I'll share that word file with you after. आज तो अभी मेरी 6 बजे को वापस वो साइबर क्राइम की वर्कशॉप है, so I have to go there, and as soon as the workshop will get over, I'll just upload those things. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, any further queries? Salman sir, Nageshwari ma'am, Nandini ma'am, Vamshi sir, Kshitij sir, Harshita ma'am,
No, sir.
Aishwarya ma'am, Preeti ma'am, Trinath sir, Anshul sir, Bhargav Sai sir, Akansha ma'am.
No, sir. All clear.
All clear मतलब सब चला गया है, दिमाग के ऊपर से गया है.
नहीं समझ आ गया.
Go to our YouTube channel and you can watch the live workshop. No doubt sir, no doubt sir, no doubt sir, no doubt sir. Okay, fine. If you have no queries, you can move on. Yeah, on I told you that today I'm going to give you the names of the team, but I'm sorry that I have not prepared that right now. I have to talk with Riya ma'am also. So on Monday I'll update with your names list and all. And yeah, if
Okay,
you
sir. Okay, sir.
now you can move on from the meeting.
Okay, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye everyone. Bye. Have a nice day. Keep smiling, all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any doubts, Salman sir?